Elon Musk, who I see as the leader of the opposition in Britain, to be honest. He's the one taking on Keir Starmer more than anybody who's actually in Britain at the moment. But the problem is the way the media operate is they then have wall-to-wall coverage on other issues.
Right.
So when this some of the horrors of what had been done to these girls were coming out in the media, the BBC reported on spat with Elon Musk. Mm-hmm. So they weren't talking about what happened to the victims. They were talking about a spat with Elon Musk. And the number one story was the LA fires. Now, of course, we all care about the LA fires, but there's a deliberate attempt to push and suppress things down the news agenda. So it's not like they don't ever talk about it. It's just suppressed. And so people move on and they think about something else. And that is what has happened.
What happened with the van that drove into people outside of King's College in London the other day? I actually don't know, because the story just disappeared.
Yeah. We don't know anything about the driver, Alex. We don't know their ethnicity, for example.
When it's convenient to not talk about something, it just disappears. Okay, so here's a prime example. I know so much more about so many more people on this here planet Earth than I know about that bespectacled little weirdo who tried to shoot Trump. I don't even know his name. Normally, you would have newspapers covering for months and months and months, pages and pages, that these were his school friends. This is the house he grew up in. We've spoken to his former teachers who said he was a weirdo. He used to collect Nazi memorabilia, whatever it may be. I couldn't even tell you what he's bloody called, Dan. And he tried to assassinate the president. He almost managed. I think there's this sort of sense of responsibility that broadcasters or people who lead in the media think, if we give this all the heat that it deserves, it's going to cause conflagration in society. It's going to cause outrage. It's going to cause civic unrest. It probably would. I think if most people out there had even one iota of a clue of what's going on and, what the impact of untrammeled levels of immigration has meant to the country, the sort of crimes, if they knew statistically, when you look at all crimes, not just crimes against women happening in society and who's behind all of it and fraud and all the rest of it, I think people would be a lot more peeved than they are at present, and they would be demonstrating on the streets. And I think that there is this sense of sort of warped public responsibility of journalists, and especially broadcast journalists and the state broadcaster, where they think we don't want to fan the flames. It might be ugly out there, but if we don't talk about it, maybe it won't get uglier.